This is an example of a theories presentation. I'm going to start with a fable. You don't have to. Imagine a god comes forth and offers you a technology that would change your life in almost every way. It would allow you to spend more time with family and friends, see new places, and do new jobs that otherwise you couldn't do. But it comes with a really high cost. In exchange for bestowing this invention on society, the god would choose 1,035 young men and women in South Carolina and strike them dead, and another 1,667 from North Carolina. And of those almost 3,000, 72% would be male. Would you take that deal? So what's the difference between that and an automobile? Those are the stats for automobile deaths in North and South Carolina, coming up to almost 3,000 people, and 72% are male. So for automobile accidents, we accept this toll almost unthinkingly because vehicle crashes have become part of our everyday lives. We can't fathom a world without vehicles. So reframing automobile accidents puts it in a different perspective. There'll often be a lot of debate when I do this in a group, where people say, yeah, I'd take that chance, and others say no. And it is about reframing. And so the theory I'm going to talk about is framing theory.
I don't think I have to tell you what you just witnessed here.
I think you do.
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. And you know what happiness is? Happiness is the smell of a new car. It's freedom from fear. It's a billboard on the side of the road that screams with reassurance that whatever you're doing, it's okay. You are okay.
So Don Draper in this clip is talking about how advertising is meant to make us feel happy. And that's okay. That we're selling this fake idea for advertising. So take a minute and guess which is more dangerous. You can go ahead and pause it. So sharks, cows are more dangerous than sharks. There's less than 10 shark deaths per year. There's a lot more cow deaths. Cows kill more than 20 people per year. Dogs worldwide injure 30,000 people per year, whereas hippos only 500. And again, that has to do with like proximity of people to hippos versus proximity of people to dogs. But we're so used to these fuzzy, warm creatures, it's a lot easier to think a hippo is more dangerous. Canoeing, 1 in 10,000 people die canoeing. And bungee jumping, it's only 1 in 500,000. And extreme heat kills more people than hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, and lightning combined. Snakes actually kill 100,000 people per year globally, and mosquitoes almost 1 million, over 1 million. So what makes us think one thing is more dangerous is something known as salience. So salience is the things that stand out in an important or noticeable way. So when I talk about natural disasters and back from this list, extreme heat or hurricanes. If I give that example in Texas, because they're so used to, problems from hurricanes, even though they also have extreme heat, a lot of people will guess hurricanes because that's something that like stands out more in their brain. And that's what salience is. It stands out in an important or noticeable way. So salient issues are those that are important to a group or an individual, and they're the issues that are top of mind. So another example of framing is that there's studies where they've taken white wine, had people try it, people talk about it like it's white wine, and then they dye the exact same wine red, and people start talking about it as if it's a red wine, with like the words and terms that you would use for red wine. It's just framing. It's the color. For wine, most people can't really taste a whole lot of difference, so it really comes down to whether you like it or not. If we're talking about something being on sale, anything under $100 is more appealing with a percentage off, whereas in anything over $100 is more appealing with a money amount off. And then we've got the positive program A, positive program B. So in this one, this is like a medical procedure where the positive is 200 lives are saved. The negative is 400 people will die. In program B, 33%, there's a 33% chance of saving all 600 people and a 66% chance of possibly saving no one. Or there's a 33% chance that no one will die and a 66% chance that all 600 will die. Those numbers actually all come out to the same thing. It's just a matter of how it's framed. In sports games, saying something like the Patriots lost invokes a different feeling than saying the Rams won if those two teams are playing, even though those two are logically equivalent. So if one team wins, the other one has to lose. But it does make a difference on whether you're saying this team won or that team lost, especially depending on what whether you're attached to one of those teams. And so for organ donations, another example of framing is that if you change the opt-in process for like organ donations or a lot of other programs that you can do, like retirement, if you change it to you're already opt-in, so you go down and get your driver's license and you're already opt-in, donation rates increase from 10% to 90% because the action of checking a box no one will do. And so if it's an automatic, like you get a license, you got to check this box to opt out, you just get higher numbers because people aren't checking those boxes. And that works for like retirement too. So if somebody starts a new job and they're like, well, you got to take retirement, but if you don't want it coming out of your paycheck, you have to fill out this other paper. People don't get around to filling out that other paper. They just go ahead and take it. So when action is required to overcome the default option, a lazy system helps make it easier to follow the default options. So a positive frame has been proven to be effective in like 80% of cases. Like this product has been proven to be effective in 80% of cases. If you frame that negatively, then it's the product has failed to work 2 out of 10 times. Just has a different feeling. So that kind of goes with this thing of like loss aversion. So losing something feels a lot worse to us than we gain something. So if you tell somebody, well, you just won $20, but if you give me that $20 now, in 2 weeks, I'll give you $40. Most people will just take the $20 and walk away because they'd feel like they're losing it. And they also don't want to have to wait for that future gain. So framing defined. So presenting information in a way that invokes people's mental filters to construct, refine, or deliver messages. So it's presenting information in a way that gets people, like mental filters that we kind of do automatically. It gets those mental filters to like work in ways that give meaning to our message. And that's what we do with framing. So how do salient issues impact our filters? Well, it's the things that we're thinking about most often. And so when we think about things that are top of mind, it might be, what do I have to do for this class? What do I have to do for work? What is most important to me? That can change how we think about things. So the implications for advertising and public relations. How things are how we state things can change perception. So the words that we use in advertising and public relations and strategic messaging are so important. And it's important to know the frames of the audiences on an issue. Again, we want to target specific audiences. In targeting those audiences, we need to know how they're thinking so that we know how we can change our language and words to change perception. Framing can be used to nudge thoughts and actions, and it can be used to break through the clutter. So, like I said, if people have to check a box to opt into or out of organ donation, they're just going to do whatever. Like, they're not going to check a box because they're lazy. We're lazy. I'm lazy. We're all lazy. But it's important to know that. We can also do things with framing, like something as simple as if you put the salads in front of a pizza at a buffet, people will grab more salads because it's closer. So we can nudge actions. We can't like completely force people to do certain things. We can just kind of nudge in those ways.